Hello guys, welcome back to Kutti Harry's Lab, episode 2 on the Nitro cars. Today, what we're going to do is, by the way, a lot of people ask me already why I have got this headphone just here. Is because to get the right audio there. That's why the headphone's just hanging down. I don't want to clip it. This is much more easier for me and the most cheapest way, most efficient way for my YouTube videos. Right, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do the basic tuning of a Nitro engine. How to set the mid needle, so mid speed, and then the high speed needle, as well as the idle, so where the car just idles itself. Every engine's got different settings. Today how I'm going to teach you is how to basically do the basic settings on any of the engines. It took me some time to understand and to learn it because every engine is different, but I found a trick where you can just set it to a base setting, doesn't matter what engine it is. So if you come here to me, I'm going to take the air filter out. I'm going to go through one more time with you. You've seen my last video, I showed you the basics anyway, but right, let me turn it on. Can you see the carburetor? Now if I accelerate, it will open the carburetor here inside. There you go. So can you see the needle on the right hand side, this needle here? That's the mid speed needle there. And the way you adjust it is on this screw there, okay? So some smaller engines, if it's a 1/10 scale, they won't have a mid-speed needle, just a high-speed needle there. This one is a 28, so it's quite a big fat engine for a 1/8 scale buggy. Hence I've got 1, 2, and the third needle, idle needle, is just there at the bottom with a spring. Can you see it? There. So this is your idle needle, this is your mid-speed, and that is your high speed. So this needle, what it does, so if I adjust the screw from here, what it does is it lets the fuel in, kind of controls how much fuel gets into the carburetor. This mid-speed needle controls how much airflow goes through the carburetor when it's on mid-speed. And when I adjust, so in order to adjust the basics, what I normally do, put the mid-speed needle flush, put the high-speed needle flush as well. So this is right now set. I haven't touched this buggy for a good 3 months now, so let's see if it starts. I'll tell you another trick as well, how to start a buggy if it hasn't been started for a very long time, or Nitro engine, not just the buggy. Right, let's start it and then we take it from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the buggy first, we warm it up, and then I'm going to mess the settings around. So it's just going to mess it up, and just to give you an idea how to set it back to how it was. It's quite a bit of a task back in the days, but now I got used to it, and it's not hard as long as you kind of get an idea how this carburetor works. So first of all, fuel in. Because I haven't started this engine for a very long time, the best thing to do, first, what we need to do is get it into the fuel line. So can you see? So again, I'm going to just quickly run through it with you. So from the exhaust, it gets the back pressure, goes into the tank, and that back pressure pushes into it once the engine is on, and pushes that airflow or that pressure down, and hence the fuel comes through the fuel filter here and then straight to the carburetor. So to start it, what we need to do is put your finger on the exhaust and pull. This engine is tight. There you go. Fuel has come through here now. And what I do is I do a small cheating way here. So what I do, if the engine hasn't been started for a long time, I put some fuel into the carburetor. There you go. That's more than enough. Open it with the throttle. So just press the accelerator. So it's opened up. And then again, thumb in. Oh. Now it's definitely primed. This is how you prime an engine. Next step. This is your basics you need to start a Nitro car. So an igniter, always have a glow plug wrench, and I'll also have a little fuel line. The reason I have this is, in case the fuel doesn't get into the carburetor by closing the exhaust, I will normally connect it to the top part of the fuel tank, so where the pressure goes in. Connect it there, and then I just blow it a bit until I see fuel onto the carburetor. Sometimes if it doesn't work, but if you do that, you just need to make sure you open the carburetor up with the controller and then blow into it. Now let's heat it up a bit. So igniter in. She's in. Let's hope for the best. I haven't started this for months. Woo! You heard that? You heard that? Nah. I'm gonna prime it a bit more. Doing it on the floor is much more easier. The reason I've got it here is it's easier for the camera. Ah, she's there. If this happens, another trick, open the fuel filter. Can you see the gap the carburetor has? It's not much of a gap. So you're not supposed to have this much of a gap when it's on idle. But to start it, what you can do is on the controller, you can adjust the, hold on, you can adjust the throttle a bit more if you wanted to. That's what I'm going to do now. So there you go. So I've adjusted it just a tiny part, not much. And this should help us to start it now. She's there, she's there. I'm going to do this on the floor. It's much easier for me. Now she will start. So now I'm going to warm up the engine first. Wow. Huh? She's getting warm. I can feel on the acceleration already. She's getting warm. Now I'm going to show you the difference. Let me turn off for a second. When it accelerates, you can see, look at the tires. But now she's warm enough. She's very warm. Now I'm going to show you how to set the needles lean or rich. Look, I did a big stupid mistake you can never do. I never put my filter on it. What an idiot. Give me a second. I was lucky there was no mud around here. Otherwise, this would have been a mess. Always put your filter on. It's my mistake. Right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make the buggy run rich. So when you let the fuel run too rich, the acceleration would be slow. You will see a lot of smoke from the exhaust coming because it's just burning fuel, which means you lose a lot of fuel as well when it runs rich. Right now it's in a perfect setting. Just for the sake of the video, I'm going to make it run rich now, yeah? In order to change that, can you see the high-speed needle here? Might as well come there. So that's the high-speed needle. And I'm going to bring it flush. So every time you turn it, it should be always a 1/4 of a turn when you're tuning it. As I'm bringing it back all the way to base setting, I'm going to count the turns. So it's 1, 2, 3 turns. I came up and it's flush now. This setting is going to be very, very rich. Let's see. Oh, I've got an audience here. Hello. Can you hear it? It's too rich. If it's too rich, it finds a struggle to burn the fuel, so it wouldn't even start. So sometimes if you get a nitro car, doesn't want to start and you've done all the right things, it means the setting is too rich. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the needle clockwise, so you're screwing it back in about 45 degrees. So basically a 1/4 of a turn. Do you know what? I'm going to do half a turn. So out of 3 turns, I put half turn back in. So 2.5 turns are out from the setting it was. See, now it wants to start, but it's not staying on for too long. Now watch the exhaust. It's a bit too rich. So I'm going to go another half a turn, which means it's gone out 2 turns now from the base setting I had. Straight away it starts. Look at the exhaust. Oh, and she cut out because she's too rich. So if this happens, it doesn't mean anything is wrong with your car. Your setting is just wrong. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go another half turn in. Let me get the controller. Trust me, you need a lot of patience with these cars, but it's fun. Makes you learn a lot. Still too rich. It's alright. The reason I did this is just to show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go another half a turn in. Now basically I'm 1 turn out from the base setting I was. It's driving now, but look how much smoke is coming out. Lot of blue smoke because there's a lot of fuel running in. And even if I want to accelerate, it is accelerating, but it takes some time because you need to burn a lot of fuel before it can go off. That's how you know it's running too rich. I'm going to make it a bit leaner. So I'm going to go half a turn again. Can you see it accelerates better now? But I'm going to go back to the base setting I was. But as you can see, it wants to accelerate straight away. I can make it a bit more richer if I wanted to. Hold on, let me. I'm going to make it a little bit richer just to see what it does. Every time you want to turn the needle, turn a quarter of a turn. Otherwise it will be too much. And try not to run the engine too lean. If it's too lean, that means you're getting less fuel, less smoke, but it can overheat the engine. You can overheat the engine and blow it. Right guys, it's going to be the end of another episode. So it's just to show you how to set the high speed needle. I didn't do much of the low speed, or normally I just leave it flushed just to get it to start and run. Then I'll go back into the high speed needle and try to just say exactly what I've done today. It can take time, you need to have a bit of patience, but it's fun. It's very satisfying. Thank you so much. So this is just to get an idea of the tuning side of it. And I'm getting already good feedback on these Nitro videos. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next review. Make sure you subscribe and press the bell up button. Anyone you know who's into, DIY stuffs and Nitros or anything. I do a lot of DIYs. Let them know to subscribe it. I love you. See you next time.